Greetings, future criminologists. Welcome to another exciting criminology review session. Today, we'll be exploring law enforcement administration with 10 essential questions and answers. Set 5A. To test your knowledge and deepen your understanding. Make sure to watch until the end. You won't want to miss these key insights. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more criminology review content. Stay safe, stay motivated, and keep striving for success. This is Cesar Lombroso, here to guide you on your journey to becoming a criminologist. Let's get started.
Follow justice and justice alone, so that you may live and possess the land the Lord your God is giving you. Deuteronomy 16:20. Welcome to our comprehensive review session. In this video, we'll be tackling a series of multiple choice test questions to help you prepare effectively for your upcoming exam. Stay focused, take notes, and let's work through each question together to strengthen your understanding and boost your confidence. Let's begin our review. Directions: read each item carefully. Select the letter of the best answer from the choices given.
It enforces all traffic laws and regulations to ensure the safety of motorists and pedestrians and attain an orderly traffic. A. Civil Relations Unit. B. Traffic Operations Center. C. Traffic Management Command. D. Aviation Security Command. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is C. Traffic Management Command. The Traffic Management Command is responsible for enforcing all traffic laws and regulations to ensure the safety of motorists and pedestrians. They work to maintain order on the roads and manage traffic flow efficiently. This includes activities such as monitoring traffic, conducting traffic stops, and responding to accidents or emergencies. Ang Traffic Management Command ay may pananagutan sa pagpapatupad ng lahat ng batas trapiko at regulasyon upang matiyak ang kaligtasan ng mga motorista at pedestrian. Nagtatrabaho sila upang mapanatili ang kaayusan sa mga kalsada at mahusay na pamahalaan ng daloy ng trapiko. Kabilang dito ang mga aktibidad tulad ng pagsubaybay sa trapiko, pagsasagawa ng mga paghinto ng trapiko, at pagtugon sa mga aksidente o emerhensya. A method of collecting information wherein the investigator merely uses his different senses. A. Observation. B. Casing. C. Research. D. Interrogation. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is A. Observation. Observation is the act of collecting information by using one's senses, such as sight, hearing, touch, smell, and sometimes taste, to gather data about a particular subject or situation. This method is commonly used in various fields including scientific research, investigation, and everyday life. Casing refers to the act of scouting or surveilling a location or target, typically for criminal purposes. Research involves systematic study and investigation to discover new information or validate existing knowledge. Interrogation is the process of questioning someone, typically in a formal or structured manner, to extract information or obtain confessions. Ang pagmamasid ay ang pagkilos ng pagkolekta ng impormasyon sa pamamagitan ng paggamit ng mga pandama, tulad ng paningin, pandinig, paghipo, pangamoy, at minsan panlasa, upang mangalap ng datos tungkol sa isang partikular na paksa o sitwasyon. Ang pamamaraang ito ay karaniwang ginagamit sa iba't ibang larangan kabilang ang siyentipikong pananaliksik, pagsisiyasat, at pang-araw-araw na buhay. Ang casing ay tumutukoy sa pagkilos ng pagmamanman o pagsubaybay sa isang lokasyon o target, karaniwang para sa mga layuning kriminal. Ang pananaliksik ay nagsasangkot ng sistematikong pag-aaral at pagsisiyasat upang tumuklas ng bagong impormasyon o patunayan ng mga umiiral na kaalaman. Ang interogasyon ay ang proseso ng pagtatanong sa isang tao, kadalasan sa isang formal o nakabalangkas na paraan, upang kumuha ng impormasyon o makakuha ng mga pag-amin. In stationary surveillance, the following must be observed, except A. Never meet subject face-to-face. B. Avoid eye contact. C. Recognize fellow agent. D. If burnt out, drop subject. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is C. Recognize fellow agent. In stationary surveillance, agents are typically trained to blend in with their surroundings and remain inconspicuous. The other options are all guidelines that agents should follow. A. Never meet subject face-to-face. This is to avoid drawing attention to the surveillance operation and potentially alerting the subject. B. Avoid eye contact. Making eye contact can make the subject suspicious or uncomfortable, potentially compromising the surveillance. D. If burnt out, drop subject. This means if the surveillance becomes compromised or the agents become too conspicuous, they should abandon the operation to avoid detection or confrontation. However, recognizing fellow agents is not typically a concern during stationary surveillance, as agents are usually briefed on who else is part of the operation and would recognize each other beforehand. Therefore, option C is the exception. Sa nakatigil na pagsubaybay, ang mga ahente ay karaniwang sinanay na makihalubilo sa kanilang kapaligiran at mananatiling hindi mahalata. Ang iba pang mga opsyon ay lahat ng mga alituntunin na dapat sundin ng mga ahente. Huwag kailanman makipagkita sa paksa ng harapan. Ito ay upang maiwasang maakit ang atensyon sa operasyon ng pagmamatsyag at posibleng maalerto ang paksa. B. Iwasan ang pakikipag-ugnay sa mata. Ang pakikipag-ugnay sa mata ay maaaring maging kainahinala o hindi komportable sa paksa, na posibleng makompromiso ang pagmamatsyag. D. Kung nasunog, ay drop ang paksa. Nangangahulugan ito kung ang pagbabantay ay nakompromiso o ang mga ahente ay naging masyadong kapansin-pansin, dapat nilang iwanan ang operasyon upang maiwasan ang pagtuklas o komprontasyon. Gayunpaman, ang pagkilala sa mga kapwa-ahente ay hindi karaniwang isang alalahanin sa panahon ng nakatigil na pagsubaybay, dahil ang mga ahente ay karaniwang binibigyang diin kung sino pa ang bahagi ng operasyon at makikilala muna ang isa't isa. Sa makatuwid, ang opsyon C ay ang pagbubukod. Pedro is a thief who is eyeing at the handbag of Maria. P.O. Santos Reyes is standing a few meters from Maria. The thief's desert still is not diminished by the presence of the police officer, but the blank for successful theft is A. Ambition. B. Feeling. C. Intention. D. Opportunity. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is the opportunity. In this scenario, Pedro's desert still is not affected by the presence of the police officer, P.O. Santos Reyes, suggesting that his ambition or feeling still remains unchanged. However, what is affected is the opportunity for successful theft. The presence of the police officer reduces Pedro's chance of successfully stealing Maria's handbag. So, while Pedro may still have the ambition, feeling, or intention to steal, his ability to do so is limited by the opportunity. The other possible answers are A. Ambition. This refers to Pedro's strong desire or determination to steal Maria's handbag. Despite the presence of the police officer, Pedro's ambition to commit theft may remain unchanged. B. Feeling. This could refer to Pedro's emotional state or inclination toward stealing Maria's handbag. Despite the presence of the police officer, Pedro's feelings or emotions regarding the theft may not be affected. C. Intention. This relates to Pedro's purpose or plan to steal Maria's handbag. Despite the presence of the police officer, Pedro may still have the intention to commit theft. So, while all of these factors, ambition, feeling, and intention, might remain consistent for Pedro, the crucial factor that is affected by the presence of the police officer is the opportunity for successful theft, option D. Without the opportunity, Pedro's ambition, feeling, and intention alone wouldn't lead to successful theft. Sa ganitong senaryo, hindi apektado ang pagnanais ni Pedro na magnakaw ng presensya ng pulis, P.O. Santos Reyes, na nagmumungkahi na ang kanyang ambisyon o pakiramdam na magnakaw ay nananatiling hindi nagbabago. Gayunpaman, ang apektado ay ang pagkakataon para sa matagumpay na pagnanakaw. Ang presensya ng pulis ay nakakabawas sa pagkakataon ni Pedro na matagumpay na nakawin ang handbag ni Maria. Kaya, habang si Pedro ay maaaring may ambisyon, pakiramdam, o intensyon na magnakaw, ang kanyang kakayahang gawin ito ay limitado ng pagkakataon. Ang iba pang posibleng sagot ay A. Ambisyon, ito ay tumutukoy sa matinding pagnanais o determinasyon ni Pedro na nakawin ang handbag ni Maria. Sa kabila ng presensya ng pulis, maaaring hindi magbabago ang ambisyon ni Pedro na magnakaw. B. Pakiramdam, ito ay maaaring tumukoy sa emosyonal na kalagayan o hilig ni Pedro sa pagnanakaw ng handbag ni Maria. Sa kabila ng presensya ng pulis, maaaring hindi maapektuhan ang damdamin o emosyon ni Pedro hinggil sa pagnanakaw. C. Intensyon, ito ay may kinalaman sa layunin o plano ni Pedro na nakawin ang handbag ni Maria. Sa kabila ng presensya ng pulis, maaaring may balak pa rin si Pedro na magnakaw. Kaya, habang ang lahat ng mga salik na ito, ambisyon, pakiramdam, at intensyon, ay maaaring manatiling pare-pareho para kay Pedro, ang mahalagang salik na apektado ng presensya ng pulis ay ang pagkakataon para sa matagumpay na pagnanakaw, opsyon D. Kung walang pagkakataon, hindi haantong sa matagumpay na pagnanakaw ang ambisyon, damdamin, at intensyon lamang ni Pedro. Graduates of the Philippine National Police Academy, PNPA, are automatically appointed to the rank of A. Senior Superintendent, B. Inspector, C. Senior Police Officer 1, D. Superintendent. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is B. Inspector. Graduates of the Philippine National Police Academy, PNPA, are automatically appointed to the rank of Inspector within the Philippine National Police, PNP. This is because the PNPA is the premier institution for police education and training in the Philippines, and its graduates are considered to have completed the necessary qualifications and training to enter the PNP at the rank of Inspector. Inspectors hold a mid-level position within the PNP hierarchy, typically overseeing police operations at the station level or serving in various administrative roles. They are responsible for supervising lower-ranking officers, managing resources, and ensuring the effective delivery of police services within their assigned areas of responsibility. Therefore, graduates of the PNPA, upon completion of their education and training, are automatically appointed to the rank of Inspector, reflecting their status as commissioned officers within the PNP. Ang mga nagtapos sa Philippine National Police Academy, PNPA, ay automatikong itinalaga sa ranggong Inspector sa loob ng Philippine National Police, PNP. Ito ay dahil ang PNPA ang pangunahing institusyon para sa edukasyon at pagsasanay ng pulisya sa Pilipinas, at ang mga nagtapos nito ay itinuturing na nakatapos ng mga kinakailangang kwalifikasyon at pagsasanay upang makapasok sa PNP sa ranggong inspektor. Ang mga inspector ay may hawak na mid-level na posisyon sa loob ng hierarchy ng PNP, karaniwang nangangasiwa sa mga operasyon ng pulisya sa antas ng istasyon o naglilingkod sa iba't ibang tungkuling administratibo. Responsable sila sa pangangasiwa sa mga opisyal na mas mababa ang ranggo, pamamahala sa mga mapagkukunan, at pagtiyak ng epektibong paghahatid ng mga serbisyo ng pulisya sa loob ng kanilang mga itinalagang lugar ng responsibilidad. Sa makatuwid, ang mga nagtapos ng PNPA sa pagtatapos ng kanilang edukasyon at pagsasanay, ay automatikong itinalaga sa ranggo ng inspector, na sumasalamin sa kanilang katayuan bilang mga commissioned officer sa loob ng PNP. PNP in-service training programs are under the responsibility of the APNP Directorate for Plans, BPNP Directorate for Human Resource and Doctrine Development, CPNP Directorate for Personnel and Records Management, DPNP Directorate for Comptrollership. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is CPNP Directorate for Personnel and Records Management. According to the search results, the PNP in-service training programs are under the responsibility of the PNP Directorate for Personnel and Records Management. To explain the answers, let's analyze the options provided. PNP Directorate for Plans. There is no information in the search results to suggest that the PNP Directorate for Plans is responsible for the in-service training programs of the PNP. B. PNP Directorate for Human Resource and Doctrine Development. There is no information in the search results to suggest that the PNP Directorate for Human Resource and Doctrine Development is responsible for the in-service training programs of the PNP. C. PNP Directorate for Personnel and Records Management. According to the search results, the PNP Directorate for Personnel and Records Management is responsible for the in-service training programs of the PNP. D. PNP Directorate for Comptrollership. There is no information in the search results to suggest that the PNP Directorate for Comptrollership is responsible for the in-service training programs of the PNP. Based on the information available, the correct answer is C. PNP Directorate for Personnel and Records Management. Ang tamang sagot ay C. PNP Directorate for Personnel and Records Management. Ayon sa resulta ng paghahanap, ang PNP in-service training programs ay nasa ilalim ng responsibilidad ng PNP Directorate for Personnel and Records Management. Para ipaliwanag ang mga sagot, suriin natin ang mga opsyong ibinigay. A. PNP Directorate for Plans. Walang impormasyon sa mga resulta ng paghahanap na magmumungkahi na ang PNP Directorate for Plans ay may pananagutan para sa mga in-service training program ng PNP. B. PNP Directorate for Human Resource and Doctrine Development. Walang impormasyon sa mga resulta ng paghahanap na magmumungkahi na ang PNP Directorate for Human Resource and Doctrine Development ay responsable para sa mga in-service training program ng PNP. C. PNP Directorate for Personnel and Records Management. Ayon sa mga resulta ng paghahanap, ang PNP Directorate for Personnel and Records Management ang may pananagutan sa mga in-service training program ng PNP. D. PNP Directorate for Comptrollership. Walang impormasyon sa mga resulta ng paghahanap na magmumungkahi na ang PNP Directorate for Comptrollership ay responsable para sa mga in-service training program ng PNP. Batay sa makukuhang impormasyon, ang tamang sagot ay C. PNP Directorate for Personnel and Records Management. One way of extending the power of police observation is to get information from persons within the vicinity. In the police work, this is called A. Data gathering, B. Field inquiry, C. Interrogation, D. Interview. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is D. Interview. In police work, an interview refers to a structured conversation between a police officer and a person of interest, witness, or potential suspect, conducted to gather information relevant to an investigation. This process allows the police to obtain valuable information from individuals within the vicinity of a crime scene or related incidents. Let's go through the other options to understand why they are not the correct choices. A data gathering typically refers to the broader process of collecting various types of information, including but not limited to interviews. B. Field inquiry may involve questioning individuals in the vicinity, but it's a broader term that encompasses various investigative techniques beyond just interviewing. C. Interrogation usually refers to a more formal and intense questioning process, often directed toward suspects and conducted in a controlled environment like a police station, rather than within the vicinity. Sa gawain ng pulisya, ang isang panayam ay tumutukoy sa isang nakaayos na pag-uusap sa pagitan ng isang opisyal ng pulisya at isang taong interesado, saksi, o potensyal na pinaghihinalaan na isinagawa upang mangalap ng impormasyong nauugnay sa isang pagsisiyasat. Ang prosesong ito ay nagpapahintulot sa pulisya na makakuha ng mahalagang impormasyon mula sa mga individual sa paligid ng isang pinangyarihan ng krimen o mga kaugnay na insidente. Tingnan natin ang iba pang mga opsyon para maunawaan kung bakit hindi sila ang mga tamang pagpipilian. A. Ang pangangalap ng datos ay karaniwang tumutukoy sa mas malawak na proseso ng pagkolekta ng iba't ibang uri ng impormasyon, kabilang ngunit hindi limitado sa mga panayam. B. Maaaring kabilang sa field inquiry ang pagtatanong sa mga individual sa paligid, ngunit ito ay isang mas malawak na termino na sumasaklaw sa iba't ibang pamamaraan sa pagsisiyasat na higit pa sa pakikipanayam. Si karaniwang tumutukoy ang interogasyon sa isang mas formal at matinding proseso ng pagtatanong, kadalasang nakadirekta sa mga pinaghihinalaan at isinasagawa sa isang kontroladong kapaligiran tulad ng isang istasyon ng pulisya, sa halip na sa loob ng paligid. Dogs have an acute sense of blank dust, their utilization in tracking down lost persons or illegal drugs. A. Smell. B. Hearing. C. Eating. D. Drinking. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is a smell. Dogs possess an acute sense of smell, which is far more developed than that of humans. This heightened olfactory ability makes them invaluable for tasks such as tracking down lost persons or detecting illegal drugs. Their sense of smell enables them to pick up and follow scents over long distances, even in complex environments. While dogs do have other senses like hearing, eating, and drinking, it is their remarkable sense of smell that is primarily utilized in these specialized tasks. Ang mga aso ay nagtataglay ng matinding pang-amoy na higit na binuo kaysa sa mga tao. Ang mas mataas na kakayahan sa olfaktoryo ay ginagawa silang napakahalaga para sa mga gawain tulad ng pagsubaybay sa mga nawawalang tao o pagtuklas ng mga ilegal na droga. Ang kanilang pang-amoy ay nagbibigay daan sa kanila na kunin at sundin ang mga pabango sa malalayong distansya kahit na sa mga komplikadong kapaligiran. Bagamat ang mga aso ay may iba pang mga pandama tulad ng pandinig, pagkain, at pag-inom, ito ay ang kanilang kahangahangang pang-amoy na pangunahing ginagamit sa mga espesyal na gawaing ito. Intelligence on blank makes heavy use of geographic information because law enforcement officials must know exact locations to interdict the flow of drugs. A. Logistics. B. Human cargo trafficking. C. Narcotics trafficking. D. Economic resources. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is C. Narcotics trafficking. Narcotics trafficking involves the illegal trade and distribution of drugs. Law enforcement officials tasked with combating narcotics trafficking heavily rely on geographic information to track and interdict the flow of drugs. Knowing exact locations such as drug routes, smuggling points, distribution centers, and areas of drug production is crucial for effective enforcement efforts. This information helps authorities to strategically allocate resources, conduct surveillance, and coordinate operations to disrupt drug trafficking networks. Ang trafficking ng narcotics ay nagsasangkot ng iligal na kalakalan at pamamahagi ng mga droga. Ang mga opisyal ng pagpapatupad ng batas na may tungkulin sa paglaban sa trafficking ng narcotics ay lubos na umaasa sa heograpikong impormasyon upang subaybayan at hadlangan ng daloy ng mga droga. Ang pag-alam sa mga eksaktong lokasyon gaya ng mga ruta ng droga, mga smuggling point, mga sentro ng pamamahagi, at mga lugar ng produksyon ng droga ay mahalaga para sa epektibong mga pagsisikap sa pagpapatupad. Ang impormasyong ito ay tumutulong sa mga awtoridad na madiskarteng maglaan ng mga mapagkukunan, magsagawa ng pagsubaybay, at mag-coordinate ng mga operasyon upang maantala ang mga network ng trafficking ng droga. Which of the following is most ideally suited to evacuation and search and rescue duties? A. Motorcycle. B. Helicopter. C. Patrol car. D. Bicycle. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The most ideally suited option for evacuation and search and rescue duties is B. Helicopter. Helicopters offer several advantages in these scenarios. They can quickly access remote or difficult-to-reach areas, provide aerial surveillance for search operations, transport personnel and supplies efficiently, and perform medical evacuations, medevac, when necessary. Additionally, helicopters can operate in various terrain and weather conditions, making them highly versatile for evacuation and search and rescue missions. Nag-aalok ang mga helicopter ng ilang mga pakinabang sa mga sitwasyong ito. Maaari silang mabilis na ma-access ang mga malalayong lugar o mahirap maabot, magbigay ng aerial surveillance para sa mga operasyon sa paghahanap, maghatid ng mga tauhan at mga supply ng mahusay, at magsagawa ng mga medikal na evacuation, medevac, kung kinakailangan. Bukod pa rito, ang mga helicopter ay maaaring gumana sa iba't ibang terrain at lagay ng panahon, na ginagawa itong lubos na versatile para sa paglikas at paghahanap at pagligtas ng mga misyon.
I can do all things through Christ which strengthened me. Philippians 4:13. This verse emphasizes faith, perseverance, and reliance on God's strength in all aspects of life, including challenges in law, justice, and moral decision-making. It serves as a reminder that with Christ's guidance, we can overcome obstacles, pursue righteousness, and uphold justice with integrity. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more educational content. See you in the next video.